Live from the Raw Live Production Studio, it's True NFL with Frankie J and T.O. And here's your host, Frankie J.
I am Frankie J, and I'm here with Hall of Shamer, T.O. We have a great show in store for you today, folks. Stay till the end. We're going to be talking about the trade deadline, injuries, Week 9, all the upsets, all the unexpectedness of the NFL. This is True NFL. T.O.
You ready for some on this day?
I am ready for some on this day. Why don't we just get into it, because we got a whole lot to get into today.
Sure do. I'm going to throw you with a 1954 hockey one. Jean Beliveau of the Montreal Canadiens scored the second fastest hat trick of all time. 3 goals in 44 seconds. How about this one in 1933? Chicago Bears' 30-game win streak was broke. By who? New England Patriots.
Wow.
Yep, and in 1978, John Madden becomes the 13th coach to win his 100th game.
Wow.
Yep. That's what I got for you today on this day.
Okay.
Stay up to date.
That's it, huh?
Yep.
All
How
right.
fast do you think you could score a hat trick?
Jeez, I don't think I could.
There it is.
I really don't think I could. But real quick, I want to thank everybody that's been watching all of our replays. We got nearly 1,000 last week. Thanks to all of you that tuned in live and or watched the replay. We appreciate your support. Thanks for more subscriptions to our YouTube channel at Raw Live. We love every one of you. It's great. It's been fun. We're on a new journey here, T.O. and I. So for us, we are doing what we enjoy most, talking shit about football. And primarily, we're Bills fans, but two very different kinds of Bills fans. And I'm sure you've all learned that as we've gone along the way. So, T.O., what was that one topic that we were arguing about? Oh, yeah. Let's just jump right into the notes here. You keep coming up with this nonsense, and we're going to just get this one out of the way first before we talk about the couple cool games that there were last week. Magnets in the field goal post.
What do you want to know about it? How come we've seen so many dings off the goalpost in the last couple of years? How come big kicks ringing off the goalpost? They look like they're going straight in, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. My theory is magnets in the goalpost. You say it's because they got new balls.
Well, this is the first year. Hear me out. This is the first year that kickers have been able to get their kicking balls prior to a game where they're able to sand them, wax them, do whatever they do to them to break them in. And I think the balls, it's having an effect on the way these guys are kicking the balls. They're accustomed to kicking a ball with more traction on it. And I think the balls are spinning off their feet, or they're not going as straight. And when you're in a live game situation where the ball's snapped, placed, and you got to kick it, it's not the same as practice or warm-up. It's just not. It's full speed, game on, and you're going to get a lot more missed field goals. And it seems that this is the year that you're seeing more doinks and that you're seeing more misses. Now, for you to go as far as saying that there's magnets in the field goal post and they're doing it as a sports entertainment thing and the balls are taking sharp lefts into the field goal post to make that boink, I think you're nuts.
Yeah, fair enough. It might sound nuts, but man, it keeps happening all the time. Every time I look, a big kick is doinking off the freaking extra, off the thing, and I can't help but think, man, you're shaving points. Somehow, some way, you look at that play with Joey Bosa, where Joey Bosa's running right in on Mahomes, and he completely gives up. 3rd and 17, you just play the game. He's running right at there. All he's got to do is put his hands in the air. Game's over. No, the NFL doesn't want that. What they want is the first down to make the game look good, because it's sports entertainment after all. And the first down sure as hell made that game more interesting than the game ending there. That's what I look at. I look at plays like this that happen every week. Magnets in the goalpost, could it be nuts? Sure, but it's not outlandish. They've been looking at magnetic tracking systems in these footballs for years. To think then telling us it's not, they haven't implemented it. How do we know? We're not even allowed to look at the ball.
Here's the problem. Let's jump into the Joey Bosa play, because I've watched that play 100 times. And what I see in that play is he has got a full run at Patty Mahomes, but Patty Mahomes is a good 12 yards away from him and starts to retreat and looks like he's going to toss a pass. And so Joey Bosa goes to play the pass, and then Pat Mahomes eventually throws it. So if he would have ran straight at Pat Mahomes would have left him in the dust anyways. So he tried to preserve himself to be able to make a play if Patty Mahomes would have came at him. on a sneak or a takeoff with the ball. So I don't see what you see in that play. I'm not real certain. And so that one sort of kind of aggravates me, actually, because I don't see what you see or what Dames was seeing on our other show, NFL, over at Lock 22 Productions. Check that out. But I don't get it, and I'm going to argue this one until the end because I don't see it.
I watched that play. They're the only two players in the screen at one instance because he's coming at him so fast. The game would be over right there. There's no way he jukes him out. Mahomes even does some kind of weird turnaround where he's not even going to be able to throw the ball. He's like the other direction. All Bosa had to do was continue on, but he makes a non-football move that no one ever was coached in the history of the game. He turns around and he hooks himself up to a defender, locks himself up. It's like he wasn't even in the play.
He only locked himself up because when he realized that Patty Mahomes was in fact going to make a pass, he went to go back at Mahomes, and that guy happened to be there in his way, so he had to play him.
Sure.
I mean, we can argue this until we're blue in the face and until your camera actually works on your computer. But the thing is I watched that play over and over again, but Bosa had a great game, so why would he shaft one play? I mean, at the end of the day, we did discover through discussion that play really didn't matter because nothing happened from it. He was going to get the first down either way because if Joey Bosa would have buried him, it would have been well after he threw the ball, and it would have been roughing the passer. So either way, they're getting the first down.
He would have sacked him. He would have
sacked
the quarterback.
Rid of the ball. He would have gotten rid of the ball. He was that far ahead of Joey Bosa. You got to rewatch that play.
I will. I've watched it 100 times.
You have to rewatch it.
It's clear to me that he gives himself up in some kind of weird way to make the drive live on. In my eyes, that's what I see. I see the NFL saying, "Hey, this game gets more interesting if they make the first down here instead of the game ending with a minute some left. Let's do something here." The guy clear run in on Mahomes. It's as clear as day. I wish we could play the replay, but people have seen it by now. Even you're watching the game and you're like, "What the hell just happened to Bosa? He's running free," and then he just grab me and I'm blocked now. And hey, my homeboy. This is an easy one because our defender, the other guy, the safety, what happened to him? Where's Bernard? Rice is wide open as way the hell over here. This guy's picking daisies over there on the other side of the field. So there's another one. But yeah, that Bosa was clear as day. I see this all day. You see tackling that you'll never ever see in Pee Wee football, or nobody's coached these kind of tackles. These kind of slide off your arm tackle. What are we doing? It's skeptical at best. But either way, we won the game.
Yeah.
I'm glad we won. Do you feel better about the victory?
I wasn't worried, actually, about the victory. I knew we were going to win that game. I thought we were coming into the game with a good head of steam, coming off a huge win in Carolina, a bounce-back game, if you will, a get-right game. And we were at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they really, the Chiefs we really did sort of, despite the score, 28-20 or 28-21, I believe it was, we did outplay them. We did create a turnover. We did nearly put Travis Kelce out of the game with that lick that Bishop put on him in the end zone where he had to leave early before the half. So, and Pat Mahomes, 15 hits. He was hit 15 times, and most times he was planted. Not one flag either, which was great to actually play a game. T.O. has a computer camera that he has to wave at once in a while because his lighting goes wonky. So we're trying to diagnose that if anybody out there has any idea why it would just go to orange tint, and then when he waves his finger in front of the camera like that, it goes back to normal. You're a weird guy. So, so I will debate that all day long. And as far as the missed kicks are more common now. They kick a different way. They're kicking like sideways soccer style, like times 10 instead of straight on. But at the same time, there's guys making 68-yard field goals with no problem. So what happens there? Where's the magnets there? Why are they allowing 70-yard field goals, but they're, only making certain field goals hook right? How do they pick and choose? Is it a lottery? Explain it. You gotta justify this.
It probably depends how big the kick is. Like in our game, I had no doubt that was going to ring off the pipe. Prater comes in. He could end the game. It could end right there. Or we could have a more exciting game if he misses. What do you think's going to happen? Ding! Right off the goal post.
You make that sound effect great. Do that.
Go figure.
Camera.
Because I hear it all the time. Every week. It's every week. Ding. You're seeing it. How come it doesn't go past the post? No, it always has to hit it. It's always hitting it these days. Never clear misses. Never no. Ding. Always off the post.
Yeah,
Weird, dude.
but
It's just
they
weird to
also they did widen the post, so
me. Sure, and they're missing extra points.
yeah,
1
they
out of
missed
10
chip
extra
shots.
points is missed. Well, explain that too. That's not none of it adds up, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of it adds up. That's what's weird to me. I can't prove or disprove because none of it adds up.
How can we prove it? What can we do?
You can't.
Who
You
can
got to
we
get a
call?
hold of one of them footballs like the guy in our stadium did, but he ran off. But that's not a kicking ball.
Yeah, well,
We
they
already
all have-
know. We already know there's crap inside that ball.
Yeah, and they say it's for marking the ball to make
Sure.
it inaccurate, but we haven't seen too much of that. They showed once, I think, during the preseason where they showed on screen where the ball actually landed, and
Yeah, it's probably got a stupid little GPS tracker in it, like your little moped.
Yeah, well, you have one in your Segway, don't you?
Yeah, it does.
So everyone knows where you are.
So I'm sure the football has some so it can track the speed of the throw and all that kind of nonsense. And
The
nobody cares about.
velocity,
Yeah,
the analytics,
yep.
the Gen Z stats,
All the thing Justin Fields can't throw with velocity.
all the thing, velocity. So, speaking of quarterbacks, let's talk a little bit about that Steelers game. Colts going into Pittsburgh. Big hype on Daniel Jones and the unstoppable force of the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdown games. Danny Dimes doesn't even have to breathe or talk when he's mic'd up, and he's still crushing it. Going into Pittsburgh, who came off a crappy loss to the Packers the week prior to that. Aaron Rodgers balled out. The defense really won that game for him, the defense.
Yeah, we said it would. You heard it here first if you're listening. We said Pittsburgh's defense was going to show up. The fans were angry. Coach is angry. The players were pissed. I mean, look, they got a lot of money on that defensive side of the ball, and they weren't playing up to it. But we
Yep.
figured in this big game here, they were going to come up, and they were going to show up, and they did. Well, I don't know. They had 5-6 turnovers in that game. What pissed me off is I can't stand – I love Rodgers, but I can't stand when the Steelers are doing everything right. They're getting the ball. They're running the ball. They get to the 2-yard line. This asshole wants to call three pass plays.
I don't get that either.
Damn ball, man. The Steelers football.
Yeah.
Run the ball, play good defense, win the game. This guy's throwing 3 pass attempts to back up tight ends. To me, it's a little nerve wracking, but they still got the victory.
Do you want to know what my problem is? Is when you run the ball to get to the goal line, and then you start trying to pass it. There's less room to run routes. There's a lot more cluster. Run the frigging ball. So I do agree with that. And the Bills make that mistake a lot too, where they keep trying to rush Josh Allen up the middle when he's running into a brick wall when you got James Cook behind him. Just toss that sucker to him on a little pitch, and he'll find the end zone. He'll get in. Give the guy a little bit of a head start, running a little space out on the edge, and he runs it in. But they keep doing this up the middle sneak shit, just like the tush push. I mean, this goal line stuff's getting really old, especially when you're stopped 3 times in a row. Let's face it.
Yeah.
If the same play does not work 3 times in a row and you're going to go for it on 4th, maybe try something different. That's just me.
Same play.
Same damn play. Same damn play.
I got to apologize because I was 100% wrong on James Cook. I said we shouldn't have given them that money. I said he was replaceable, and it sure looks like he's not.
For now.
He's good. His brother was good too, you know.
Well, Dalvin's still in the league.
No, he's not. His brother was phenomenal. He's not
but
in the league
he's
anymore.
still in the league. Sure he is.
No, there's zero
Yes.
chance that guy's in the league.
He's on a roster.
Look it up. Zero.
You
chance.
look it up.
No way. He's not on a team. I'm telling you. Right
I
now.
think he is.
Either way,
Okay,
he was
fine. He's a
very good
practice
for the
squad.
Minnesota Vikings way before.
Then they went to the Jets.
Well, he was good there, and then he started getting a little injury prone.
Yeah.
But he was good. Cook's good.
Yeah, he's different than his brother, though. He's a little more elusive, a little more slippery, if you will.
The other dude was slippery too. They
Well,
were good. He was good.
Yeah,
He led the league, I think, once in rushing yards.
Sure. He had a really good couple of years, and that's why he was worth big money. I do you feel that James Cook should have got more money?
No, he got what he got. I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot. So I
Got
thought
what he got for a running back.
Now, where I'm impressed, to be quite honest with you, is usually when these guys bank in and make the huge money, all of a sudden their production goes down. It usually is the case. I don't know the percentages. I'd have to dive into it, which I'm probably not going to. But most times after these guys sign big deals, a few different things can happen. They get injured, they suck, or they get traded within like 2 years of signing a big deal. And we've seen that quite a bit actually lately. In fact, with the trades that just happened, we saw that a couple times. A couple guys had just signed big deals and they were traded away. Explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the injuries has a lot to do with holding out. If you look at the numbers, if the player held out, they're more likely to get injured, and I think that's why in contract disputes when they're holding out, that has a lot to do with injuries. But I think both sides won this trade, and we need them, and it shows.
Yeah.
And kudos to them because our offensive line is really good, and if we can impose our will, as Romo kept saying, we're definitely going to be a menace.
Well,
do I feel any better about the win? No, I feel the same.
Yeah, I feel good about the win. My only sadness about that win is we lost Michael Hoyt, who we had for 2 games, back after 6 games out on suspension, or an absolute wrecking ball. Would have maybe made the Pro Bowl even 8 weeks into the season. That's the kind of games he was having. He was a game changer, creating havoc in the backfield, getting turnovers, just being a beast, and then he tears his Achilles and he's done for the year. And that kind of leads into what I want to talk about next, and that's and we had this debate with Dames a little earlier about coaches pulling players out when there's a blowout or not pulling them out when there's a blowout and it causing problems. And I'm kind of mixed on it. I think they should leave the players in and let them finish the game. For example, a couple of weeks ago when Josh was winning in Carolina and we were definitely going to win that game, they could have kept him in for another series, maybe 2 series, before pulling the plug and putting Mitch Trubisky in, because there are people that play fantasy football. There's people that gamble, and people, we draft these guys to get us points, and if they're putting up 40 points or there's 40 points on the board and 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns or Josh Allen, let him get that 5th touchdown, then pull him out of the game. If he's not in any risk of getting hurt, like, why, But if a guy's already injured, like a Jaden Daniels, shouldn't have even been in that damn game, and they're losing 38-7 with like 14 seconds left. I think it was 5 minutes. Pull him out of there. That's when you pull a guy out so he doesn't get hurt for some dumb reason. I mean, it was apparent the Commanders were not going to come back in that game. They just were not going to come back in that game at all. They had no game going at all. Pull him out, but he left him in. He got hurt. He's going to probably be out probably the rest of the season, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's out definitely for the rest. I would have left him in. They were about to score. We've seen teams come back from a bigger deficit this year. You're never really out of it. I would have left him in. It's just an unfortunate injury there. I don't blame the coach. Like I said on that other show, I don't blame him. I would have left him in. As for if my coach gives a crap about my fantasy team, then I got the wrong coach. Because if we're blowing a team out and I got a chance to sit Josh Allen and see what my backup can do, I'm going to play my backup because I'm only one play away from needing that guy to get me into the playoffs.
I'm not going to disagree with you if it comes down to a game like that where, okay, for example, do you see the Commanders making the playoffs this year at this point, week 8? If the playoffs were to start today, as far as the NFC, where Washington would stand, let me pull it up here. I'm going to pull it up because I want to give you accurate information. Washington is...
You're playing what you know now. What I knew then is they needed that game and they needed him to play. They were not the same team without him. There was a big game.
I mean, Washington's a long shot for even coming near the playoffs.
Sure. Now they are. And now their quarterback's done.
Yeah, but even if they would have won that game, they're still a long shot from the playoffs.
No such thing as long shot these days.
Well,
everyone's grouped together pretty damn close.
I mean, I suppose you're right, but I do have my disagreements. My disagreements aren't invalid.
No, you can look at the percentage. It'll tell you 8% today, and then if they win next week, all of a sudden they're 22%. So, I mean, there's so few games that each win is huge. So nobody's out of it.
Let me ask you this question. As far as the league and the way it's structured and all that, and the scheduling and the games and them not flexing any games this year, do you feel that there should be more practice? Because I think a lot of what you're seeing now is because there's not a lot of pads on pads practice where they do more walkthroughs than anything. They're not hitting each other. They're not getting physical. Do you think that that's leading to a lot more injuries? Do you think that that could be a possibility? That it's not only the playing surface, that it could be these guys just they're in the weight room. They do walk through practices. They put big rubber bands around their thighs. They do all kinds of shit. But when it comes to game time, they get hurt, and it's because they're not getting hit. They're not getting into that sort of situation in a practice mode.
Yeah, there's only a few guys in the league that play practice like it's the game. Jerry Rice comes to mind.
Yeah,
Jerry
sure.
Rice, every pass he caught in practice, every slant he caught in practice, he'd run it no matter where he was all the way to the end zone and back. Every single one. There's only a few guys like that. And I think at this stage of where we are, people are so much bigger, faster, stronger, and they're taking it to the limits even before the NFL. By the time that they get to the NFL, man, they're only one little rubber band string away from that thing snapping and then being done. And the more injury you get on one side, you got to compensate on the other. And then what usually happens, the other side goes down. That's what happens. Yeah, there's your Achilles right there. Yep. So stretch all day long. Sooner or later,
it's gonna pop.
That's what I think. I mean, and practice speed is not game speed unless you're Jerry Rice.
Well, that's the problem I have is that I don't think they practice hard enough. The training camps have gotten a little bit more lenient, and that's just my feelings on it. I just sometimes don't think they practice hard enough, and that leads to a lot of these unnecessary injuries. That's just my humble opinion.
It seems to be a lot of injuries, but I'm sure they're just magnified these days because we get updates on them all the time. I'm sure there was injuries back in the day because you look at the game back then, but I'm sure people stayed in the game too while having injuries.
Well, yeah, they weren't making $30 million a year, and they had to play, and plus there was no free agency, so wherever they were playing, that's where they played. So they played their hearts out, and they had to stay in the game to get a paycheck. In Terry Bradshaw, there was a documentary, I can't remember, but a lot of those guys worked side jobs outside of playing football because they didn't make the money, so they'd have to tape up their ankles and take the needle and get hooked on the Vicodin, and there wasn't all the things going on now that we know. Well, there's a lot of things that were happening then that we know now that shouldn't have been. Smoking in the locker rooms, drinking all night, and then going to practice the next day, sitting in a hot tub with a cigar. So there's a lot of differences. The game's evolved, obviously. It just seems to be a lot of these stupid. I mean, every time a guy goes down, he's out for the year. Every friggin' time. It's like when they bring the card out, done for the year, done for the year, done for the year. It's like some of these guys don't even get out of training camp, done for the year, done for the year. That wasn't like that in the 90s. I don't care about social media. I don't think social media has anything to do with it. There was still news reporting. We had, Sports Center. There was still news, local news, that would report if some player got injured and how significant it was. But we didn't hear about it the way we do now. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's called betting.
Okay.
It's called betting. That's why we hear about it more. Because any edge you can get on any player, they're going to let you know about it in the news. Oh, you got a word this guy's not playing? Oh, sweet. Okay, let me bet now while the line's this before the word gets out and then the change. It all has to do with betting. And
So
they
you
locked
think-
up their injury thing, and the NFL made like new rules on that where they have to stay in line and tell you every little thing that's injured. So I think you hear about it a lot more.
Yeah, these injury reports are kind of a joke too, where they don't. Well, that's what happened.
Oh, yeah. You got to realize that no good player is going to practice on Wednesday, so they're all going to be on the injury report. No veteran's going to practice on Wednesday. They're going to do a walkthrough, and it's going to say they're limited, and they're going to pop up on the injury report.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's why Tom Brady was every week on the injury report.
Huh.
They're not
I didn't
going to
know that.
practice. What are they doing? They've been in the league for 12 years. They don't need
didn't-
practice on a Wednesday.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and then Thursday, Friday. If they don't practice Thursday, Friday, then you know you got a problem. Wednesday's a walkthrough. No one's going to be. I mean, that's what. I don't know.
So what's Monday, Tuesday?
No, they don't even. Nothing comes out. The official injury report doesn't come out to Wednesday.
No, but so they practice on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday usually.
So they're off Mondays and Tuesdays typically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rest.
Rest up, ice up, get better.
Probably watch film or whatever they do.
Huh.
Never been a star. Punt
Are
the
you
ball
that,
at the
like-
ceiling. I don't know.
Are you a stalker that goes and like finds out what these guys do all day and knows their schedules and where they are and what time
Not
they're
at all.
there. And
No.
how do you find this stuff? You watch YouTube?
Yeah, I watch a lot of football content. I like to be informed when I'm coming on a talk show.
Well, speaking of which, if you want to be on the show, send us an email to info@rawlive.com, ticking there at the bottom of the screen. That was a perfect segue, TLC.
I can't just be an ugly face here. I got to back
Yeah.
it up with a little bit of
Yeah.
something.
That's why Josh is smiling behind you, because he wants to whip that football at you.
It's upbeat Josh. He's going to smile even when we're losing. You know that.
You are the Hall of Shamer on the show, right?
Realist.
The
Beat him when it
realist.
counts. That's what I want to do. Just beat him when it counts. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not allowed to say anything negative. Not allowed to say anything positive about Patrick
say
Mahomes
whatever you
because I
want.
lost this bet. But hey, beat him when it counts, please. I want it. I'd
Yeah.
love it. I'd love to win the Super Bowl. I'd go berserk.
Who
I just hope we don't burn the damn bitch down.
I hope we. I don't
You
want to
know?
say anything that can incriminate me, but you know as well as I do, if the Bills win a Super Bowl, that the new mayor of Buffalo is not going to have a really nice time for a few months. It's going to be a big old cleanup,
Yeah, that's
greasy
see what
polls and
happens.
all. There'll be a
Good
lot
game.
of greasy polls.
Good victory. How about them trades? You think any more of them matter?
I kind of had an issue with the whole Dallas trade.
Yeah.
Dallas trades, excuse me. I had said on our last program over at Lock TV, Lock 22 Productions, I disagree with the trade fully. It was too late. They got a 7% chance, Cowboys that is, 7% chance of making the playoffs. So what are they doing? Building for next year now? And they have these guys out there for the next 9 weeks at risk of getting hurt and maybe being out all next year. What's going on in Dallas? They let Micah Parsons go when they could have probably restructured a deal and made him happy and have a beast of a defense. Instead, they let him walk to Green Bay, and then they go out and obviously I feel that they won. I mean, both sides won because the Jets got 2 first-round picks and a receiver, and I'm not sure what they gave away for the Cincinnati linebacker, but why did they load up so late? Why did they wait so late to make these moves when they could have been making these moves all along? They could have probably hit the Jets up probably 3 weeks ago. That's how bad the Jets have been and will be for the remainder of the year. They could have hit the Jets up well in advance to the trade deadline, but they waited. Why? Is that a control thing? Is that a Jerry Jones thing? Or is that just the Cowboys are just shitty until Jerry Jones quits and steps down?
At first, I thought it was a bad trade, but Dame's talked me into it being a good trade for the Cowboys. Too late, like I said before, but America's team, they get a lot of viewers. You might as well put something on the product, on the field.
They get a
for
lot
everybody
of viewers no matter what because
That's what
the
I mean.
Cowboys are a big ticket in town, like an LA game, right? If you ever watch the audience at a Rams or a Chargers game, not a good percentage of the fans in the stands are celebrities. People that don't even have necessarily a favorite football team or even know what the hell football is. They're just there for status quo. They're not really a football city, or they wouldn't have to split their team into two and have the Rams and the Chargers. It seems weird to me, any of these big cities that have 2 teams. You got the Jets, you got the Giants. People will still go to those games. It's a status quo. New York City, lots of money. It's expensive. So I don't think it matters what's on the field in Dallas. I think it's the Jerry Jones show, and it's Dallas. They got the Cowgirls, the Cowgirls, and they got the spectacle before, and they got the show. They got people there. There's always celebrities there. George Bush was there for the game. I mean, these are people coming in on the sidelines. It's the Jerry Jones, circus experience.
Yeah, it is. It's like running like I said before, it's like running your motor and being like, oh, I had oil. I have oil right here. No, I don't want that oil. I'm going to go buy my own. And then you run it with nothing. And then all of a sudden, you go buy your own oil after the motor's already dead and you put it in there. That's what he did. He had Parsons.
Yeah.
Just sign what you got. He could have made it happen. It's Dallas.
Do you think it was a personal thing between him and Parsons? Do you think it was because Parsons requested it? Jerry's like, I don't care no one's going to tell me what to do. You think that's kind of what it was?
Oh, yeah.
So that's why no one's ever successful in Dallas. You get a coach like a Mike McCarthy. I still think Mike McCarthy was a great fit for Dallas, but not a great fit for Jerry.
Nope.
He wanted to control his team. He probably didn't want Jerry in the goddamn locker room. He probably didn't want Jerry down on the sidelines. He probably wanted to be the coach.
Ever since we were kids watching football, there's always been a head coach problem in Dallas because of
the
Jerry
two
Jones. Jerrys can't get along.
Well, Jerry Jones had Jimmy Johnson 2 Super Bowls in a row, and they broke up. Why? Because Jimmy Johnson wanted that locker room to be his place for him and his players to get ready for games, and Jerry Jones would come in there with all his little bigwig business partners and want a handshake and talk to all the players and wish them good luck and da-ba-doo-ba-doo, scooby-doo-ba-doo. He wanted to be the coach, owner, GM, player, everything, and that's a recipe for disaster of ownership. Did they get those Super Bowls? Yeah, they got those Super Bowls because of that Herschel Walker trade, A. B, because they brought in Jimmy Johnson after Landry, and they built that team. If you recall, they were like 1-13 or 1-14 their first year with Jimmy Johnson, then they just surged. But they could have won a couple more if Jerry Jones would have got the hell out of the way and left Jimmy Johnson to do his job and stop being such a control freak. And I think it took him up until, last year or the year before to finally put Jimmy Johnson on the Ring of Honor because of his cocky, controlling, manipulative way. And Jimmy Johnson probably still thinks he's a piece of shit, but he had to be nice.
Yeah, it's not going to ever go well as long as that guy's in control there in Dallas. Bottom line. They're not going to win while he's there.
It's sort of like Carolina. You got the owner there. How many coaches has he been through in the last 4 years? Oh, I want a coach to be here for 35 years, he says. It's like, well, how can you have a coach here for 35 years when you fire him 8 weeks into the season? How makes that make sense, buddy? You're a gazillionaire. You own a football team. If I own a football team because I happen to just have a ton of money, but I don't know the first thing about the game, the way to put a team together, what you need to make it all work, I'm going to hire people to do that, and I'm going to stay the hell out of the way unless I have people advise me saying, hey, this isn't the way it should be. Then I could make a business decision. I think Jerry Jones hires these guys. Yeah, I'm going to take the handcuffs off you, and you're going to run this team. We're going to get ourselves a Super Bowl and Scooby-Dooby-Doo and do his sales thing like he does. And then all of a sudden, that verbal handshake of me taking the handcuffs off and you being our coach goes out the window. And that's when you started to see Mike McCarthy regress, when Jerry Jones started becoming more boisterous and more involved and more in the way. At first, it seemed like a good marriage, but then all of a sudden, when they lost a couple games and Jerry Jones was on the sidelines making his facial expressions and getting all kinds of flack from the media, he took it out on Mike McCarthy and fired him. Then he brings in Schottenheimer, who's no better.
Yep.
No better.
It's going to be a disgrace till he's gone.
He needs to step down. And I don't even necessarily think his son is the answer either. His son's been, basically brainwashed by him to see how he runs the organization. As much as he wants his father to step back, once his dad steps back, he's going to be like, now I'm in control and I'm going to run it my way, and I'm just going to change the nameplate to Junior, and that's it. I don't think you see a change in Dallas until the Jones aren't part of the team anymore.
We'll see.
Kind of what happened in Washington. Get new ownership in Washington, and they're competitive, and they're more of a contender. But before that, you had that Schneider guy buying people out of the graveyards and putting batteries in them, thinking they're going to be the answer. He did that forever. He was like the sanctuary for players that nobody else wanted.
Yep.
And what did he do? He ran that team almost out of the city, really. I mean, there was considerations on moving until he finally, I think the league convinced him to sell the team. Like, you got to sell the team, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not good for Washington.
Not good for the league.
You're not good for the league. You're not a good look. And you suck. And now they got an ownership team in there. I don't know who it includes. I think whoever. But it's an ownership team that seems to want to win. They're all on the same page when it comes to goals. And you see a more competitive team. They hire better. So I think the right people are in place there. I think they've had some bad luck with injuries.
Yep.
Obviously, Austin Eckler out for the year, which is a shame because he's a game changer when you're in the red zone, goal line situations. And then, unfortunate injury with Jaden Daniels where it looked like his whole arm was ripped out of socket, wrapped around his head and strangling him. And,
Terry McLaurin, list goes on.
Yeah. So I don't see too much more happening with the Washington Commanders. Can they be competitive? Well, sure. Mariota is a veteran, but is he the answer? No. Is he ever going to win the big one? No. He's not Nick Foles. He's not in the situation where he's got the team around him like Nick Foles did in Philly when Carson Wentz went down. So there's a lot of different dynamics that you have to look at when you see these different teams and the replacement play or the backups, stuff like that. Not sure if we agree on all that, but I think we're pretty close.
Yep. Yippers.
Yippers. And then, the Jets getting their first-round picks and a receiver in return. Quarterback?
Oh,
do we jump that far ahead? Do we get this far ahead? Do they start looking now in the college pool to see who's going to be coming out in next year's draft? Do they start doing their scouting now to say, hey, we got 2 number 1 draft picks? Do they maybe pick 2 quarterbacks in the first round?
They're going to have to move up. They're going to have to package their picks and move up.
They're going to have to move up, and they're going to have to get a quarterback, and they're going to have to research a real quarterback. And I should kind of take that back a little bit because they did draft Sam Darnold, who did turn out to be a decent quarterback. He is shredding right now in Seattle.
Doesn't matter who they pick.
He was shredding in Minnesota. It just seems like New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears, Carolina, certain teams, if you get drafted, you might as well just put your retirement papers in before they fly in. Why bother? Because you're going to a team that has no chance. The Bears, out of all the teams right now that I just mentioned, they might have the best chance at making some noise because I do think Ben Johnson could be a good coach there for a long time. But it's the Bears. Yeah, they all of a sudden decide to make changes. That's what they do. The
Jets just did this. They just did this a few years ago. That's how they got all those good players. They're doo-doo trash. Like you mentioned, they had Darnold. Now look at them. Look at them even in Minnesota. Did great. They had they had Raj. Well, he got hurt, so you can't really count that. But still, Raj isn't doing too bad in Pittsburgh. So it doesn't matter who they get. The Jets are a shit show organization.
They're a tainted organization. I think it's the ownership, Woody Johnson. The guy is more of a businessman than he is a franchise football owner. And with, the Jets being a privately owned company and on top of that being a franchise in the NFL, that gives him a little bit more of a complex, I think, to where he feels that every decision he makes is going to be the best for his organization. And it's not. He makes some really poor decisions. And he's been doing it for some time. And you would think you'd watch NFL Network or ESPN once in a while to hear people talking about what an idiot you are and make these changes. But he doesn't. It's like he's like, oh, they're wrong. I'm the owner of the Jets. Yeah, you are, and you suck. You're making some really bad moves. You fired Robert Saleh, who's a good defensive coordinator. You bring in a defensive coordinator as a coach who doesn't have an offense. It just, all the moves he makes seems to be not even sideways, like kind of on a diagonal going backwards.
I don't know. If we look at this in a vacuum and we take this before week 1 and we look at the Jets roster and we predict their games, we predict them to be like 10-6 and say, wow, they may have a chance with this roster. Yeah. And we've been saying this for a few years, even when they had a great defense that time and their offense couldn't do diddly.
Well,
it doesn't matter who they have.
No, it doesn't, because I remember very clearly you and I having this debate before we even started doing a football podcast. We had this debate when Aaron Rodgers was brought to the Jets. You said, "Oh, they're Super Bowl contenders right away."
People vote.
Yep. Yes, and what happened? 4 plays into his, first season, boom, down. He never got right since. Now he's right. Now he's playing some ball at age 41, or was he 42? 41. He's playing some ball. But we're running out of time here. Why don't we real quickly? I know we did this on the other show, but we can real quickly cruise through for our audience over here at True NFL. And if you want to follow along in the comments and tell us if you disagree or agree with our picks, go ahead. Why don't we pick who we think is going to win and lose next week real quick? There's only a few. There's some teams on the bye. We'll start Thursday night, tomorrow night, Las Vegas. Las Vegas. They're another team. If you want to die and ruin your career, go there and sign a contract. Max Crosby, poor guy. Las Vegas visits Denver. Denver's hot right now. Defense, the offense is starting to click on the cylinders. You got no-name receivers, Franklin catching balls, Sutton. You got that new running back. I took Denver in this one, hands down. I don't think I need to go into great detail why.
I'm taking Denver. I'm interested to see Oakland's offense.
You mean Las Vegas?
Las Vegas' offense. Sorry, Oakland.
It should
I know
still
you
be
lost your
Oakland.
team.
It should still be Oakland, really.
I feel bad about that too.
I feel bad about that too. I think Oakland at this point is probably like, thank God. They're
Well,
probably
hey,
like,
they got a lot to look for. I mean, when Bowers is in the lineup, he opens up everything.
Yeah, but he's been on and off healthy, and they might overuse him too. So we'll see. And now that you lost Jacoby Myers, I mean, is that a big hole? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's not like Geno Smith was doing much anyways. Atlanta visits Indy, and this one's in Berlin, 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Indy's
up
the
early.
home team. Wake up early. Have coffee and eggs to watch football. I took Atlanta in this one because Indy just had a really terrible loss. They got brought back down to earth essentially by Pittsburgh. So I like Atlanta to go into Berlin and beat Indy, and Indy being a little uncomfortable overseas. So who do you take?
I take Indy.
You took Indy, right. Okay, moving along. The New York Giants, Jackson Dart minus Skedapoop. And they're going to go play with the Chicago Bears in the Windy City. I took Chicago in this one because it's the Giants, and Chicago is a little bit better coached, I think, and they have a little bit more talent and less injuries. Let's face it, better quarterback play right now with Caleb Williams than a Jackson Dart. He's been around longer. So I took the Bears. You took the Bears. Buffalo, this is our team. We're going to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Miami. We already beat Miami this year at home. It was one of those games where you thought we were going to lose to Miami when the game first started, but then we kind of turned it around and came back and beat them comfortably. I take Buffalo just because Miami just sucks. I gave them the benefit of the doubt last week. I picked them to win. They let me down. I just think they're a shipwreck. I think they ought to let the ship sink and call it a hurricane and just call it a deal. Wrap it up. Fire the genius at the end of the year. Get a coach, okay? Get rid of the pencil-pushing nerd that belongs in the front office with his capri pants and his size 20 shoes. Get him out of there. He's a clown. He's a towel boy. He's a water boy, if that. Get him out of there. Get a coach that's going to come down there and make those guys sweat the rust off of their bodies and play some football. It's crazy. It's sad. It's Miami. They lose. I'm going to assume you take the Bills, too.
I'm going to take the Bills. Josh Allen owns Miami.
You can take the Bills, huh? You forget about it. And then Baltimore goes to Minnesota. This could be a really, really, really good game. Minnesota put on a show last week. They beat the Packers. J.J. McCarthy looked like an NFL quarterback last week, like I said on the last show. He looked like he's been doing it for a year. He looked comfortable. I think Kevin O'Connell put a game plan together for him, for his skill sets and the players around him, and I think they do the same thing this week. However, I did take Minnesota at home, and you took Baltimore.
Yeah, I did. I think Baltimore, like I said, strings together a couple of games here, and it's going to make the playoffs.
Yep. Okay. Well, this one will be real quick. Cleveland at the Jets. We both took Cleveland. We don't have to talk about that one. New England visits Tampa Bay. This one we want for the Bills. We want New England to lose this game. It helps us with the divisional. If we beat Miami, the Jets lose, and New England loses, and we win, that gets us a little bit. We're a half game behind them, so that gets us a little closer to contention for the first place in the AFC East and the playoff, and if we beat them in December too. So I obviously take the Bills in this one.
Oh, Tampa? I'm taking Tampa.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Duh. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me back to earth. I took Tampa Bay 2 at home. Baker Mayfield coming off a bye week. He's been playing all year really without Mike Evans. The injury train's been there the whole time. So
what if New England dominates them and wins? Then what are you talking about, New England?
Jeez, I don't know. I'd have to change my tune. I'd have to change how I feel about it because I'm thinking that this New England surge right now just could be that, just a surge. Just they're playing some good football, but we still got 9 weeks left in the year, so a lot can happen. New England could hit a losing streak, and I think that starts this week. New Orleans goes to Carolina. What a game! They should just flex that one out of the schedule. Just don't even put that one on TV. But I took Carolina at home. You did too.
Yep.
Then we got Jacksonville Goldilocks going into Houston. Houston coming off a pretty good game, even though they lost. Stroud is out, concussion protocol. I took Jacksonville in this one. I just think that with the addition of Jacoby Myers and the Goldilocks and the ETN, like you said, running game, they might have a good game and take care of Houston. Then we go to the late window, 4 o'clock games. This one sucks too. Arizona at San Fran. Arizona is better with Brissett than they are with Kyler Murray. We both know that, but Brissett's not going to go to Seattle and win that game. It's just going to be too noisy. Crowd. Seattle's pumped up right now. They're playing some good ball. So I took Seattle. You took Seattle. Moving along, Rams at San Fran. We both took the Rams in this one. San Fran's beat up. Mac Jones, Matt Stafford's playing some good ball.
They're always beat up, but they always win.
They always win. And then we got the Detroit Lions going into Washington. Detroit. I mean, they have no quarterback in Washington right now. Mariota's not going to do it. We know that. And they're just too beat up. And Detroit's coming off an embarrassing loss to the Vikings, to say the least. And then we got our Sunday night game. Pittsburgh visits the Chargers.
Yeah, I like Pittsburgh in this game again for the defense.
I do too. I picked them too, and I think that it's a primetime game, and I like that Pittsburgh defense is starting to come to life. I always enjoy a good Pittsburgh game. I'm not a huge fan this year because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but I don't dislike Pittsburgh. I just can't be their fan right now, but I did take them. Last but not least, our Monday night game, Philly at Green Bay. Green Bay coming off a loss and Philly coming off a bye week. I took Green Bay at home. You took Philly.
I did.
So we're pretty much going to have to wrap it up here, folks. We're a little bit over time. We want to just take a quick second to thank each and every one of you for being here with us each and every week. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment on any of the shows. Go to our channel and check out some of our shorts and some of our previous older content. Get a little bit of an idea of who we are. T.O. and Frankie J. We're here every week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We weren't on Instagram tonight. It didn't link up for some reason, but usually it's Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Both T.O. Facebook and my Facebook and both our YouTubes. So from here at True NFL, this has been brought to you by Raw Live Productions. We'll see you all next week.
True NFL is brought to you by Raw Live Productions. If you have any questions about the show, you can email us at info@rawlive.com.